let's talk about breakups.
Do it, bro.
My friend.
Let's do it.
Because
a breakup a week, bro.
A breakup a week?
I'm full of shit. No, Tristan has a breakup a week. I have a really good retention rate, actually. Our retention rate's strong.
The first video I watched from you was that one video.
Yeah, the Gentleman Gang video. Yeah, it has like a million something views. Yeah.
That is some hard shit to pull. And like now I feel like
what's hard to pull?
The one text and then completely done forever. Forever and ever. I learned my lesson. I got my vaccine of that. It only took one time. I think I will never struggle with that ever again. Like right now I'm in a place where like I don't want to ever end my relationship that I'm in right now. But if it ever come to that, I know 100% I could send that text and be completely like,
bro, it's crazy. I introduced that song to them and we started talking about it. And then Andrew started singing it in Jules' house, Sartorial's house in Dubai. And I'm like, they really like this song. And then we started talking about it more. And now today, after all of this, I get at least one text message a day of a screenshot of some dude telling some girl somewhere in the world, I'm sorry it's come down to this. There's so much about you I'm going to miss. And then they send a pin to Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm like, yeehaw, cowboy. Could somebody get me in touch with George Strait, please? I feel like I watched this video the other day on YouTube where it was like every comment, it was George Strait singing Still Make Cheyenne. And he's like, JWaller sent me here. JWaller sent me here. George, what's up, bro? We got to do a pod, man. We got to talk about this. But
you definitely have to.
Everybody blow George Strait up and tell him there's a cowboy in Louisiana that wants to talk about Still Make Cheyenne. But yeah, man, it's so true. I think that's one of the most beautifully written songs. I think that song means a lot to me. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I have a country music called G Country Music Playlist, and I let no simp songs in there. In fact, I thought about doing a channel called The Gospel of Country Music and taking all these songs and like unpacking the lessons in it. And Cheyenne would probably be number one. The first one I would do, man, because you look at that song, you know, telephone rang about 8:45. She heard his voice on the other end of the line and wondered what was wrong this time. This man is living on the road. He's like these guys that we talk about that aren't appreciated. This is a truck driver. This is a guy in the construction business. This is a guy out on the road trying to build an empire for his family to have a legacy. Every man's got his own rodeo. You know, she wondered what his cause might bring. With a cowboy like him, it could be anything. I was a cowboy, just a steel cowboy, just chasing these jobs all over the country, man. You know, and of course it goes into the other parts, you know, where she's like, I found somebody new, and he's saying he sure ain't no rodeo man, you know? And so right there, he has a decision. He can either argue and beg and all this other stuff, or he can leave that phone dangling off the hook, give it one last look and just walk away. And that particular part is the part that I assume that you're talking about. And that, my friend, takes what we in the war room call an iron mind. At that point in the relationship, if that boundary is crossed, you can non-emotionally say what you have to say and say, listen, it's either going to be this way or it's not. And a woman is either going to have to respect you or lose respect for you. And that respect is going to be held within whether you can hold your ground or not. I've done it and I've lived through the pain of it. And you just have to ask yourself, whose will is stronger, me or this 100-pound woman who is naturally, genetically more emotional than me? Am I going to let her beat me at a game of will and strength of the mind when I know that she's naturally more emotional than me? That, and understand that if you start contacting her or blowing her phone up or watching her stories or phoning her mom and doing all of these things that are emotional actions, she's naturally going to be less attracted to you. And you're going to push her further and further and further and further away until she lands on something you don't want her to land on. And that's the dude down the street, right? So you have to know that it's going to take an iron will and mind to be able to do this, because there's no pain greater than heartbreak. But you're not doing yourself a service by begging a woman to come back or catering to her breaking the rules of your frame, because she's not going to respect you if you can't be strong enough to have her be inside your frame. So I do believe respect equals love, and any man that wants to garner respect for a woman, particularly in a breakup, needs to be able to leave the phone dangling off the hook.
Just walk away.
Yeah. Catch that rodeo, cowboy. Because guess what? In a few years, when you win the rodeo, the phone's going to ring again. Then it's up to you what to do.
Yeah. And that part is really sad. At least in my experience, it was sad because
It's the worst part.
yeah, I still care about her and I wanted her to be happy.
Yeah.
But there was no going back.
Right. Bro, and you can shock a woman that way. You know, I've had conversations like that. It's like, you know what? I don't even act like a hard ass. I'm really going to miss you. You know, I'm really going to miss you. Take care. And she's like, wait, what? That's it? Cold. Got to be a G, bro. Yeah. That's the game. The hard part about this world, like people complain about women, but I think being a man, you actually have a better shot. Because a lot of times women, they get all of their value at early, they get beauty. And that is a currency in this world. Beauty is a currency. So they get all their value at an early age and they get this beauty. But as a man, you're not guaranteed to ever have value, but you have the opportunity to rule your own world. And what's tricky and harmful or hard for women, I believe, and why I feel sorry for women sometimes, like I don't think women have it easy, is because they can go conquer the same things that we went to conquer, except they've disqualified themselves from men. A woman that makes a bunch of money might as well be 6'4". Like she puts herself out of the dating pool because of hypergamy wants you to go to a cross or up. Mm-hmm. So the more financially successful she gets, the harder it is to find a date to prom because she's taller than all the boys.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's fair. I believe women in the workplace are fucking phenomenal. I'll be the first one to say that. I feel for them because they run into that scenario. And that particular young lady will probably have to go so high up the pecking order that once she finds a guy that she can submit to like that, he's probably going to have multiple women. Is it fair? No, sir, it's not fair. Is life fair? No, sir, it's not. She'll also break a bunch of hearts of men that tried and tried and tried and tried on the way up. It's quite the predicament that we're in 2023, but I don't think there's a good or bad side in the situation. But as a man, you need to be able to walk away. You need to be able to keep your respect for yourself, and you need to go work on you, because begging a woman back or catering and negotiating will never work. It is just simply a shit test that you will lose in. And I have no hate in my heart for women. I genuinely believe that. It's been my experience. One of the biggest parts about getting out the matrix is actually to free your own mind. Anybody that believes that they can't be successful because they have a child is a coward.